I make the party shine bright when it started glooming. This beat was bubble gum, so I had to chew it.
Burger King foot, Burger King foot lettuce. Burger King foot, Burger King foot lettuce. Number 15, number 15. Number 15. This is the lettuce you eat at Burger King. Burger King foot, Burger King foot lettuce. Burger King foot, Burger King foot lettuce.
Where did music go?
I don't know, but I was in the line.
Why did intro have no
Burger
sound?
King foot, Burger King foot lettuce, Burger King foot.
Shit, my bad.
Oh, there it goes.
We not only had old intro, we had muted intro, and we had re-intro. So double the intro. More fun. Welcome everybody to this 9:15 opening act edition of the Plumes of Hazard. I am Mask09, and I am in the great company of my cohorts, all the way from the state of Shalansha, Texas, is
me? God damn it.
the Angstful Vapor. I like mixing it up.
I can't fucking present the right person if you go the wrong order.
Put your goddamn hold my dad Coke.
I
Oh my
forgot.
God, going in.
I forgot. And all the way from the state that we just I don't even know what to say about your state. Looking like a 1960s grandma, Fubaka.
God,
It's called style.
Your cardigan changed color there for a second. Like you had, I just noticed you have multiple fanios back there. What's up with that? Is one a dehumidifier and one's a fan, or
No, the dehumidifier is way too fucking loud to keep here. I have it in the bigger room there. So that's a heater fan in the front and the air purifiers in the back.
This fucking weather. I swear there's like a line just north of Georgia. I don't even know. People are like, oh yeah, it's snowing here. It's negative something. Fuck. It's been 80 something over here. No bueno. What's been over there, Angsty?
I mean, the air purifier is always on. Some nights my hands get cold taking nerds' tears and ladder points, so I need the heater fan on.
I was making
Got him.
typo gag in chat.
Got him. The jib.
So we were all sitting here just kind of bullshitting and talking for a few minutes. All of a sudden, I don't even know who it was. It wasn't me. It was one of the two.
It was me.
Said, oh, fuck. It's 9:12.
I know. I was like, I looked down. I'm like, oh shit! It's
Yeah, I
9:12.
swear it was like 9:04 a second prior to that. But
Yeah.
I'm usually the one that's always getting yelled at. But I was just looking at my Burger King foot lettuce, and all of a sudden it's like, whoa, ah!
Yeah, that's good. Let's rewind to that.
I was
What the hell is Burger
speaking
King
of
foot
Burger
lettuce?
King. We were talking about their fallen menu items at work the other day, and they had like a crispy chicken sandwich at one point, and it was because the classic chicken sandwich can be a bit much.
Wait,
sometimes.
was it tight butthole? Is that what that was?
Yes, I was called the chicken crisp. That's what it was. It was very tight butthole because the classic chicken sandwich is good, but sometimes it's a bit much.
Damn, some of these are freaking on point. I mean, you see, did you see? Let's see, where's it at? This image. We might as well just get them out of the way. What? I don't even know where it went. Okay.
What happened?
No, I got it. Maybe I didn't. It was I don't even know what the hell's going on here. Continue.
You know, I just thought I'd try something just for a minute there. I wonder if this will even work.
What's that?
I'm gonna try something. You guys go do something else. I'm gonna try something. I'm gonna do something
well,
live.
Here, click on my screen because I was about to show that one. I found the image.
You're up.
So this, well, maybe I thought I had the image. Holy crap! Here we go. So when you suck so much black dick that your vocal cords take a knee during the national anthem.
Oh.
I wouldn't say they took a knee so much so as they you ever see like a really shitty progressive rock band that has to go like super wanky and go on like these 8-minute instrumental solo like that's what she did.
It was bad. That even the players all rolling their eyes and stuff.
Jimmy Kimmel was the best. He was just like
it was
Jimmy
bad.
Kimmel's not the best at anything.
It was bad.
It was bad.
Yeah,
Really bad.
was it?
My theory is she watched Marvin Gaye do it at, I think it was like the 92 or 93 All-Star game. Even before that. And that was like the best one I've seen. And she was like, I can do better than that.
Right, I could do something weirdo. Can I turn that off? Oh, fuck yeah, look at that. That works. Now
Hey, if you get to do the national anthem at the All-Star game after peeing yourself on stage, I guess you've accomplished something.
Right.
I wouldn't know sweat.
Medusa says he'd do her still.
Do you have
better wear a fucking steel condom.
You better use a sheet too.
You might get some fucking plastic or
you're gonna get your dick's gonna get opalaka'd.
Where did it go?
Still in transit.
Inks's over there playing video games. Oh, look what I can do!
I'm totally playing video games right. I never thought about doing this during the show. So let me see what happens if I share my screen and share OBS. What is that? How does that work? Start screen share. Does this work? Look at this. I'm just on the screen and I'm sharing a thing.
Nice.
That's cool. Let's turn this off. And then stop the thing. Yeah, that's kind of neat. I never thought about trying that before.
Now you're black.
Uh-oh.
Angsty is not black.
Oh boy, that is totally bugged. That is totally jacked up.
Angsty.
So while he is still showing that, here's another one that we have since we'll go to just dark humor.
I think I know which one you have on deck.
Hey, I'm back. I figured it out.
Shit. No.
Too bad.
I lost the screen.
Oh, do you wanna share some Bikini Bottom Twitter while we're here?
I think you should.
Bikini Bottom Twitter was I had quite a chuckle on my way home from work.
Quick, go.
No, I don't have it.
You don't have to be fast.
Okay, side chat. Actually, I can screen share this.
It's like, how bad is it, Foo?
There you go.
Right,
I saw this one. It was fucking made me laugh.
Oh, Jesus. Got him. Here's the one I had. When you need to get away from an active shooter at a school really fast.
Really fast.
Really
womp, womp.
Oh wait,
fucking dicks.
X gonna give it to you. 1 second. This is the one I posted in our chat last night. Angsty.
A lot of men will pay for something like that. Yes, William, they will.
Hashtag adpocalypse.
Was that at the Black Panther showing?
I don't know.
One would assume. One would assume. So, Master, you want to share that? The wait. Hey,
what am I sharing?
I am vaping on this one reserve.
Oh,
that's 6 milli. on the Narca on the Limo. Have the remnants of No Cigar in the Scion 2. Give you a little spoiler. This coil was done after 15 mil, and this is about 30.
Gross.
Oh my God. Actually, I'll take this apart and pull out the coil. You can see what it looks like.
Oh, I bet it'll be good. Of all of our juices, I think No Cigar might be the worst.
Oh, I'm a dirty bitch. Foos Gold lasted a little longer.
Yeah.
I think I got like 30 or 40 mil.
It's TJ LSB. Hello, TJ LSB.
Oh, hello, Daniel.
And Giz and or Church and fucking everybody's in here tonight. What up, boys? Ace is up in here. Festy.
Oh, Lord Jesus.
Wants your car. Attituding. I do have some bad news. Do you want me to go first? Oh wait, no, we're still doing your hand check. You done with your hand check?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
I'm ready for my coil check.
You're ready for your coil check. Yeah, prep for that. I'm doing something weird. Here, boys. The first time this has happened since I think August. I'm vaping regulated. What? I know. I busted out my Dia, and there's a specific reason why. But on top of there, I've got a Haku Phenom and a Geppetto tip on top because that's the one that kind of matches the old Dia. So we're vaping that. We are vaping an Attitude coil. So it's 0.4. So we got that up at 30 watts, a little higher than I normally do, but you got to do it because of ramp up and all that shit. And the billet box. Oh, by the way, there's rail crack in here. The billet box and inside here is the thing I've been talking about forever and a day. Look at there. It's the vape shell from Etmazoo. On top is an Omen integrated tip, and inside there is a door.
Butterfingers.
Inside of there is Get Pissed, because I haven't had it in a while. It sounded really good. Put it in there. It's vaping. Lasty, you vape anything today?
No, I was not. I'm trying to get that thing that we talked about.
Just the humid Florida air.
Yeah.
Glass phone favor just caught it. I said I busted out my Dia. You spelled it MADEA, but what I was intending is apostrophe DEA.
Tyler Perry's Art and Mud.
Starring Tyler Perry, directed by Tyler Perry.
That would be pretty funny if Tyler Perry ran Art and Mud.
It would be. It is good to see the Aqua Dia return. I haven't used it, and pushing not a year, but it's been 9 months anyway. I bet. But it's been good to use it again. It is still heavy after you've been using the freehands for a while. Going back to something this solid, like different, lots of metal and stainless for that matter. And wood instead of composite, and it's just heavier. That's all there's to it. Got a board. Not that the board's very heavy, but
what's wrong with the board, dude?
No, it's just not as light as no board.
Well, what if your freehand kind of has a board?
Yeah, that's true. Dude, I can't wait until that happens. Like I've been after him, been like, come on, you gotta make a regulated freehand.
Right. No. So coil business. So
the
coils are actually intact. There's no gunk on the coils, however. Oh, there goes the furnace. Look at how dark that shit is.
Oh, I can't see the bottom. It's so black. Like my soul.
Darkness is spread. Oh, you can see the napkin at the bottom.
Oh, is that the napkin at the bottom? Oh, dear.
Yeah. Darkness is spreading.
Darkness is?
Yeah. It's a cotton killer. Not a coil killer, just a cotton killer. But yeah, that was probably need to be retired after 15, 20 mil. And fuck, I dropped it. No. Yeah. But yeah, I actually remember last week I was saying I was vaping on a coil, and I completely forgot to mention I didn't get to my point later last show. because I was on my game.
Horror wants to know if that top button locked up.
He has that top. Yeah, I do. Never bottom button. Because why would you do that?
Mm-hmm.
I usually don't typically button the top either. It just thought I'd be very Mr. Rogers-y today.
Mm-hmm. Somebody in my feed linked that old speech he gave to the it was the Senate.
Mm-hmm.
Congress, anyway.
Old man buttons.
Old man buttons.
These are the buttons that you could, like, if I threw it at someone, I could probably cut them with it. These are like good dense buttons.
Yeah. Like those real thin ones too, like the ones that are almost like abalone. Those things are fucking paper thin.
Abalone has a
So sad story. This starts off as a good story. I got in an order that I put in with Limelight Mechanics a while back, close-ups, and I got a new button for my Gloom with their logo on it, which I was really happy about. So that was cool. And then late last week, I put it in to my Gloom, and that night or the next night, I think it was the next night. My Gloom got real hot in my jeans pocket, sitting beside my bed, and it melted my Gloom. So that's really sad. Here's the thing. It's got a silver lining. The silver lining is the 510 positive pin collapsed and no longer made contact with the addy, and or the MOSFET itself.
Mooch.
Hello, Mooch. And or the MOSFET stopped firing because the battery was at 3.5 volts, so no thermal runaway. The internal safeties of the mod worked, but it did melt the top of the thing. And for the record, I did tell Dayon this, that I told him that what I did with the button. I'm like, it may have been my fault. I don't know. I don't know what happened. All I know is it worked fine up until 2 days before I put the button in. And then suddenly it doesn't work anymore. And I will say that I discovered that might be the worst smell in vaping. Melted Gloom does not smell good.
Oh, yeah. It's not burning wood. This is burning composite.
Yeah. Burning composite. It was not pleasant. It smelled bad. I had to pour a bunch of vinegar on my jeans because it stuck to the inside of my pocket and scorched the little thing. Anyway, it was not fun. But because Limelight is Limelight and Dayon is Dayon, he's gonna fix it, of course, and well, replace it probably, because he's fixing that thing. That thing is stinky. It's in a Ziploc because it smelled so bad as soon as I got the addy off.
Dude, your Gloom is like fucking Grant Hill. Can't stay healthy for more than like 20 games.
That thing's been working great for a couple months.
I said you got it back, and it's like, oh, now we must depart.
Maybe I fucked it up. I don't know. Josh Hopper, the first time the MOSFET busted, and I will not claim that one. That one was just weird. It just started firing. But the second time, that's the question mark. I don't know. So that's the second time that's happened to me. Yeah. So just
XC, I'm ready when you are. It's gonna have to be
sure.
It's gonna have to be live, so I couldn't bring it, download it. So whenever you're ready.
Yeah, no worries. So there's that. I wanted to tell you guys that. Here's the problem I've got with it. The problem is I fucking love those mods, and I have to have another one. In fact, yeah, I have to have another one just because I freaking like those things so much. This was the only time that I think that I haven't taken my battery out to overnight, because I've been doing that since that happened the first time. I always take my battery out. But didn't that night because I passed out on the couch. Didn't think about it. Just stuck it in my pocket. Went to bed. I don't know what happened, but Dayon is being a champ because fucking Limelight. It's one of the best things about that company is the people that run it and own it, as well as the team that surround it. I mean, Aaron and Ace, those guys are great. They're always there trying to help, and they do whatever they can do to help you. And it's not because I've got some vape show that 3 people watch every night. It's it's because they do the same thing for everybody.
They have top-notch service.
Top-notch service.
Stop snatch.
So I didn't want to tell you about that. I didn't want to show you this badass Cerakote button. which I will use at some point when I get my other one back.
Did you show the gloom? They're asking for you to show the gloom.
Oh, yeah, I can show it. I don't want to take it out. It fucking stinks.
Okay, well, while you do that,
show
here,
it through
I'll-
the bag.
It's right here. Yeah, you're not gonna be able to see it in the bag. It's not the bag. It melted that corner right there, and it melted the plastic around the Addy. Stained the Addy a little bit. The Addy warmed up too much. It was the Hellfire Strike. Oh God, the Hellfire Strike was on it. When I took the cap off, there was 2 little tufts of cotton on either side of the coil, and just carbon in between. I mean, it was just gone. It kind of looked like little poodle puffs on either side of the coil.
Poodle puffs.
Poodle puffs.
All right.
Yeah, so that's that. I didn't see if there's any more questions, but like I said, being taken care of, that's good. I love the fact that the safeties worked. If anybody was going to test the positive destruction, the safeties of a mod, it would of course happen to me. So that said, I also want to mention, and this is directly related, I had something that happened to me this last week, and that was the first thing that happened. The second time, right after that, I had a bad vape week this last week. I think Sean said something like that, like a couple of years ago, and I teased him about it. I was like, what do you mean had a bad vape week? Just rebuild your Addy, whatever's going wrong. That happened to me. Like I took it off there. The only thing I had around is the Dia, so I threw a tuning coil in here, and it just wasn't working right. It didn't feel right. I was trying to jack with the power, getting that to that MOSFET power that I've really grown to really like. It's just nothing was right. And then I was jacking with this thing, and the billet box was working okay, but it wasn't working great. I just wasn't satisfied by anything. And it was really depressing. It was really annoying. Like, it wasn't until this last weekend where I had time to sit down and actually do a couple things right. And now this is better, but this is still, it's all right. But I think I'm just used to the MOSFET vape now, and the DNA 40 is not. It's not quite enough, and I think part of the problem is I am running the Clapton coils in here, which the DNA 40 and Clapton coil is probably not the best idea. I should probably be putting on something more angry, but I don't have anything more angry, so I don't know. It was weird. I didn't have a very positive last week of vaping. Everything's just kind of a bummer.
Coils. I'm angry.
What?
Angry.
This is Angsty's coils.
Yeah. It wasn't like frowny face. It was like, like flat face. It wasn't bad. It just wasn't great. And it was. I was depressed at the fucking gloom. That's all there's to it. I was sad about that. I love that mod. Can't wait till it comes back.
Yeah.
I had a great vape day. I was telling Angsty before the show because I moved back up to 6 milligram. I go through no juice now. It's kind of nice because what stops me is I start vaping like I'm vaping 3, and then I'm like, oh, I think my heart stopped beating. I should stop. So that's nice.
Sick Boy said bad vape week equals first world problems. I would completely agree with you. I have no argument against. This is a very nice Italian squawk mod, and I'm irritated at it a little bit. So yeah, there's no argument about the first world problems.
Someone touching my MOSFET.
My spaghetti. All right, Master.
My spaghetti. Yeah, so if you saw this over the weekend, yes, we are going to show it. This is at a airport, Southwest. You can see the Southwest counter there on the right-hand side, and this is through the TSA checkpoint. And let's just give it a spaghetti watch. Watch this area right over here. Whoa, what's going on there?
Oh, was that B carry?
Here, well, let's stop. Let's stop this and bring it back a little bit. All right, so they're just sitting there going through the X-ray machine and all this.
Like in the tunnel for the X-ray.
Woo! Fire and more fire.
All right, where's the nearest bearded guy? Let's tackle him.
I'm gonna zoom it out so you can just watch everybody's reaction. And go. This is how you get through security real quick. It's called a distraction. And
it takes them a while to get moving. Everybody's kind of like
it takes them a while.
Today I learned
a long while. This guy goes back and he grabs his stuff. This guy comes running and whoopsie.
Wipe out.
I mean, I'm like, what's this guy thinking? Here we go again. Here he comes. Watch the bottom left of your screen. Allah Akbar. No, Kabar, I'm out. The cop's like, get over here. And the fire's still raging. And no one's grabbed the fire extinguisher yet. Oh, here we go. There we go.
Fire starter. Twisted fire starter.
And that thing is just like, oh. Let's go right up to it. Oh, now we can put it up. Yay. Spray all that shit in the electronics.
Oh, my God.
Dude,
Yeah,
Rob
so
Jones is right. Nobody's got their shoes on. That's one problem.
Yep.
Everybody got socks on. That's true.
Absolutely. So all this happens, and bad. So what happened was the guy or girl had hit their device. They took the batteries out, and instead of putting them in a case or in a battery condom or in a battery holder, they just threw them in their bag with the rest of the fucking metal. And as that went, the X-ray machine had nothing to do with it. It did not magically explode after going through the X-ray.
Right.
But guess what happens after, you have all of this all lined up and your shit's all fucking packed like this.
Well, you got a handful of change you've thrown in there. Your key.
Yeah, and all, and they run it through that machine and they move it forward and backwards. And it's
you should have put him in his shoes, if anything. That would have been the safest place to put him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
So that was... That just happened a few days
take
ago.
your batteries out or turn your shit off.
Or turn your shit off. Like, dude, I've never taken my batteries out of my mod when flying. I have my battery cases, my mods. It's like, I don't need to take it out for you to see there's a fucking battery in there.
Well, and you can't.
Right.
It's not like you're gonna vape inside the airport anyway.
Right.
Turn your shit off. Lock your shit. Turn it off.
So just as a reminder, though, we have this next video to show. I don't know what they're saying because it's on Ching Chong 1, but this is inside of a plane right now. Look at this guy throwing water on it, or this girl. Well, she throws a whole bottle up there.
Yo, it worked.
It worked.
This guy's like, give me the juice.
Give me the horse juice.
No. That's going to be sticky now.
Watch that again. Allah.
Well, she missed with the first half of the bottle.
Yeah. She nailed it the second half.
Way
to go,
give me the juice. You don't need those carbs.
Why are people... It's a little fucking fire in a backpack. Just go up and pour the water on it. Like... let's
it's an airplane, though.
Let's let the
might have Arabic written all over it.
So, anyways, this guy straight out of Heroes, takes it out. But
that's a guy that's ever been around a campfire before.
Yeah.
Water on it. Mooch did confirm that water is the preferred method. By the way, there you go.
Because wasting orange juice is not good. And you can make, a Florida man acid if you pour orange juice on a battery. Well, so stay away from that.
That's got to be an electrolyte or something, right?
Something.
Yeah, orange juice is polar as fuck.
Make sure that your water is distilled so it does not conduct any electricity before you pour it on the battery fire.
Right, never tequila.
I didn't get into an argument, but I got into a conversation with a guy about, now today, what the best method of putting out a fire in either a CNC machine, laser, or something like that, where you have very expensive electronics and boards is, and I, thought, well, if you usually have either an enclosed area or something like that, just blast the shit out of it with CO2.
No, wait. What about WD-40? That'll work real well.
Yeah, no, that's only used for the wasp nest.
Oh, my bad.
And it pre-oils the side of your house so your mom can come out with her chancleta and throw it at you. So, but anyways, you just hit it with CO2. And yes, CO2 displaces oxygen. Blah 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 blah. But you could suffocate the fire. Well, apparently. The way to correctly do it when it's in electronics is using some shit called halotrox, which is a mixture of, it's a new chemical from the halon that you heard back in the, and to, me being corrected, halon has been recycled, and there is an ample supply of recycled halon that's actually still in use today. So it is legal. It is not illegal. And Who knew, right? So they sell these fire extinguishers that are called Halitrox. So I'm sure somebody in chat will say, but apparently that's the preferred way of putting out the fire when you have sensitive electronics nearby. And apparently that's what the FAA recommends for planes. So they'll have a green bar on the extinguishers themselves. So because you don't really want to be, pumping that, with a normal ABC fire extinguisher, that powder, because that's highly corrosive Shiat. So, yeah. So there you go. Water.
I prefer my lithium grease.
Yeah. So there you go. Elon.
Any more fire stories, Lasty?
That's all I got.
That's good. Related to something I mentioned a minute ago is the Addy that was on top of that was the Addy I've been using the last 2 weeks here on the show, the Hellfire Strike. So I use that almost exclusively for the last 2 weeks, and the reason is because it's really good. I did enjoy the vape from it in general, but I did sell it after I got it cleaned up. So I got it off the mod and I got it cleaned off as well as I could, then ultrasonic it for half an hour, trying to get it all cleaned up, and it was pretty fine. The only thing that was really bad with it is my O-ring of my drip tip, one of my Omen tips, busted because it got too hot. So it turned out okay, but I did sell it. The reason is the top cap. So from what I understand, William and Joe Chick and a bunch of other people that had these things, they did not have the problem that I did. As usual, I got something weird that happened with mine. My top cap was super loose, and especially the toppest of the top cap, the airflow adjustment part, I had it come off in my pocket a couple times, and one time was I was wearing on the outside of my short or my jeans, and had I not caught it with my hand, I would have lost that top cap. I wouldn't have even noticed it was gone until the next time I went to go vape. So I couldn't deal with that personally. Now, that might not affect you. Pretty much everybody else apparently doesn't have that problem in general. So I don't want to say that all of them have that problem. But to me, I want a one-piece top cap. I want a top cap that's not going to go anywhere, and I'm not going to bump it from the side a little bit, and then it just fucks off on me. So I did sell it. I bought a different one, which will be here tomorrow, I think. I'll be building that up and probably talk about it a little bit next week. But yeah, Hellfire Strike's gone. The end. There's something else that's not here yet that I can't talk about, but I did want to show you that I got a package in the mail this last week, and it's a little handwritten note, and a little thing, and it's from a company called Stadtqualm. Chris, the illustrious and the handsome Chris Lesser, did ping me, and he offered to let me try something, which is really kind of him. It's like, I don't know. It's pretty awesome. So the thing that goes to is coming back to me, and I'm going to be able to test that as well next week. So we'll talk about that next week. Yeah, that's the vape mail I got. Next.
Yeah.
Anybody else?
I'm out.
Yeah. So you saw me disassemble my grody ass coil. I mentioned last week that I had gone from, I started my Scion 2 review with the build deck, so I was like, ooh, right?
Mm-hmm.
The RTA deck is solid. However, I got better mileage out of a coil versus the Claptons and Cotton. Strange. Usually, I mean, the flavor is good. The flavor in these coils is actually really good. I tried the single parallel one, which was the 100 to 200 watt one, and I'm like, okay, this hexanate lasts me fucking my pot of coffee when I'm vaping that shit. 850 mod, 110 watts. Not very efficient. However, the vape was pretty good, and I haven't done any bro vaping in a while, so this is my first foray with it in months. As an alternative to like a TF tank, it's pretty good. We got the solid top fill. It's in pieces now, so fuck me. My gripe, I don't have too many gripes with it, is really just the 810 drip tip situation. It is a mustache catcher.
Ooh.
You see? Wait, where the fuck is my focus?
Focus.
Oh wait, hold on. Let me click on you. There you go.
Yeah, I love to catch that shit.
Yeah, it's luxurious.
It hurt, dude.
It was yeah, yank that shit. That aside, nice tank. I put exclusively dirty bitch juices through it and got decent mileage out of them. So there's one coil, the higher rated coil, wattage wise, is a single parallel, I believe. It's like a 0.4. And then the triple coil, the tri-coil, which is what I showed earlier, is 5-ish, I believe. So yeah, it's not a bad tank. I think it's like $30 for the tank, and it's like 10 for the RTA deck. And in my opinion, it's built way more solid than the TF stuff. I know that Jay Bigglesworth he got it at Showcase, I think, or something. He got a nicer tank that takes TF coils. But Anakin makes good shit. Even in their crap addies, they're still built better than most of the China stuff that's out there. So good tank. You want to try it out? Do it. Just don't get the rainbow one. IMO.
Yeah, that rainbow one's rough. There has to be a demand for that, right? Because if you look on Fast Tech and those other sites that got their shit,
A lot of rainbow shit and RGB shit on the grams.
I don't know why. Why?
Do you not remember the 90s, man?
Yeah, I do. I was there.
Everything's clear, lights up, funny colors.
But it's not. I mean, it's 2018.
I just think fuck is it? What oil is it that looks all rainbowy when there's a puddle of it in the?
You mean like normal engine oil?
Just like,
motor oil. Yeah, I took a soak in some motor oil.
Yeah, or gas. You just a little drop and it's like.
Yep. You ever run like an outboard motor, right, in the lake, whatever?
Yeah, spit that oil in that shit.
Mm-hmm.
That two-stroke though.
But that said, probably the best RTA base I've used on a coil tank.
It is nice. I didn't build it because I was using the coils, but
I use the included
nice.
Claptons with it. I can't complain. I think that the
Daniel
coils do work a little better. I'd say it's like a 10% difference in performance.
Daniel said it's real nice. I know Todd mentioned that he actually preferred it over the coil heads.
Yeah, just the ease of use. Plus the friggin' coils are so gargantuan, dude.
Yeah, they're enormous. Although the RB head's not any smaller.
Yeah, but the coils look like part of a shell casing from a Barrett 50 cal. So
yeah. Oh well, yeah. The coils inside the coil heads are they're preposterous, especially that giant, the really big, the 0.2 one or whatever. I think I can stick my pinky in that thing.
But Anakin's been on fire with their tank game. This is like a when pigs fly moment for me. I mean, any of our peeps been watching for a while. You know how much of a harsh critic I've been on their hardware. Outside of their mods have always been good, but the tanks have been shit up until the last handful of months. So
yeah,
keep it going, man.
Keep it going, indeed.
Thank you, Billiken.
Remember I said I had a bad vape week? You want to see what other reason why I had a bad vape week? My favorite tweezers that I got a long time ago from Vape Kit. They're the ones that were the blunt ones that they ground down in that cool angle. Here, if you guys, I got these like 2 years ago. If you guys weren't around then, I'll show you what I'm talking about. That they were blunt ones, but they ground them down to that cool. It's like sharp but blunt at the same time. They're awesome, and I love these things. But the problem is they chipped after a long time of use. You can see it right there. They chipped, and so I went to go buy another pair, and they're out of business.
Who?
Vape Kit.
Wow.
It was so I had to go back. I Googled for it and couldn't find them, and then I searched my email. Found my old receipt from like 2.5 years ago, and the link was on there, right? So I went to the link. Website not available. It's 404. The Facebook group was gone. Everything was gone. So I'm really pretty bummed out about it. It sucks. I'm really sad. Really sad. What Addy we're talking about? We're talking about the this guy, the Scion V2 from Anakin. I've got the coil head in there, and Foo's got the RBA head. Apparently, mine decided to leak because it's been sitting for a couple weeks, for like a week. I haven't used it at all.
Basically, Josh, my chief complaint with it was the 810 drip tip, and I don't have any 810 drip tips for one. Two, the one that's included is a mustache yanker.
Yeah.
Because after I took it apart for the first time, like I took the drip tip out and rinsed it when I changed juices and shit, it didn't sit nicely after that. Not as nice as one out of the box. So it's yankers.
Is that right?
That's the worst, dude. When you just get freaking crying that eye for like 20 minutes.
It's not pulling out my hairs, but it's just yanking on me. I'll just be sitting, have my coffee and vaping and just too early. Fucking 9 a.m. for that shit. No. I don't like having I don't want my Addy to wake me up.
Right. Addy just offered to grind down some tweezers. I appreciate it, buddy.
He will turn anything into gold, that guy.
I could probably do that too. I was just gonna buy a new set. I did. Oh, you know what? I think I mentioned this. This was a while back. I bought. My wife has got one of those. I bought her a long time ago. I got her a Cricut. It's basically like the little hobbyist CNC thing. It does mostly paper craft and chipboard and that kind of thing. And then a year or two ago, I bought her the Silhouette. I think after talking to Lasty, and one of the things that you can cut out vinyl stickers and stuff. And so she was doing that, and she asked for some tweezers. So she had stolen some of my tweezers and wouldn't give them back. So I went to Amazon and bought some cheapos. And one of the ones that I found, one of them I gave to her, right? Because she doesn't care. She just needed some sharp ones. So then I took my Sharpies back. But they one of the 3-pack actually was very similar. It's very similar to that shape. But the problem is the tweezers themselves blow ass. Like they're real limp. They're like real limp dick. Like it's just not okay. Yeah, exactly. They don't spring open right. So I mean, it's not like they don't work, but I think I can probably figure something out because I don't want to replace the tweezers themselves because they are good as well. Nah. See, bad vape weeks. Not that big of a deal. First world problem, sure.
Man, yeah.
But it still kind of sucks. Shut this thing off. I was down to like a half a mil or something in here, and I had accidentally opened the top and probably didn't shut it properly, and it pissed everywhere. That's what I've been doing. I'm gonna clean that up. All right, man. So yeah, my tweezers is what's in my notes there. Sad story. I wish they weren't gone, but I can what I can do, because I mean I've got a grinder out in my shop, but it's not a belt grinder, and like a stone grinder would be too rough on it. I got some wet dry sandpaper. I can try taking it out like that, but I don't know how. I mean, that would probably take forever and a day doing it by hand.
Or just let your stubble grown a little and just.
There you go. Just one side. That, I wonder too. I bet, I'm almost certain you can get replacement heads for these things. Like you can just buy the ceramic tips. I should check into that.
Go.
Well, but the Fastech ones are probably the ones like this, and they're like, I don't know, they're too shiny and they look weird, and they're probably not ceramic. They may be non-conductive, but they're probably not ceramic. But I could probably take a pair because I've got a couple pair of my of Coilmaster ones. I could probably grind down one of those. Oh, maybe this is a good excuse to buy a belt grinder.
You want to zoom in on the heads of those again?
The good ones?
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
So they're flat-headed?
Close-ups. No, let me get some more light in here too. they're basically the sharp ones, but they've been ground down so that they're blunt, but still kind of sharp. But you see this angle that they're at. They've got this real aggressive, like angry little strong tip. Because that's the problem with their super skinny needle tip ones, is they're real fragile at the end, right? And these guys let me get in there and really, pinch some shit together.
Is this what you're looking for?
Yeah. So is that from the Fast Tex?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So that is very similar. Very similar, but
having a pair.
You see how glossy they are? I bet that's the shape that these ones that I have are. Because these ones that I have are dirt cheap Amazon, which is probably the same ones from Fastec. And the shape isn't right. I know that's dumb. I'm just saying. I really like the way these are shaped more than the other ones. Screws are sometimes impossible to move on tweezers. I don't doubt that for a second.
GTH Review says, sadly, those are riveted in.
As he said, these are these have a Phillips on the outside, but the back of it does look like a rivet. They do look like a rivet.
Bom, 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 bom.
But that also could just be the threaded portion of the screw going through there. So I don't know. We'll see. Maybe I'll try to tackle that sometime, and maybe I'll go buy a really cool belt sander.
Yeah, I'll come over for a pedicure with you.
Yeah, exactly. Could use that on the back of my heels. Holy shit!
No, I just use an X-Acto knife.
Yeah, wife has got a thing that looks basically like a cheese grater that she takes to my heels.
The pet egg. Yeah, I have one of those.
Yeah. Well said. I got the last pair of tweezers from a one-man shop, and the dude quit making them because he figured nobody would ever help market them. Actually, you know what? To be perfectly fair, that's not true because I saw these on a Grimm post. Grimm, they had sent them to Grimm, and he had mentioned them in the thing, and I went looking up to find them after he had mentioned them. And you know what's really crappy is the here. I will even show you. Hold on. When I went to go look for the receipts. The order confirmation is like one of the coolest things ever. So the monk has it is what I get when I ordered it. Upon receiving your order, a highly skilled team of transporters gently pulled your order from our vape kit shelves. Using static-free, contamination-free, sterilized gloves, your order was swiftly placed on a satin pillow and carefully walked over to our specially packed list. A mysterious Japanese monk, whose name we don't know and whose voice we've never heard, quietly arranged his workstation. It goes on and on. It's hilarious. And then here, the next one, the shipping thing is he gave us the nod. It was so cool. And I'm certain I said something about it on the show when I bought it, but that was a long time ago. I hate seeing stuff like that go away because it's clearly a good product. I really, really like them. And I've got a dozen pairs of tweezers over there, and those are the only ones I ever use. Actually, I'm the only one wearing a hat. That's not terribly unusual. Massey is probably about 50-50 wearing a hat.
Yeah. Just depends how fucking hot it is.
Ooh.
I gotta let my head breathe.
Mm-hmm.
Gotta let the locks breathe.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Start getting thin.
Oh, you know what? I didn't say thank you yet to Robert Key. He sent over some coils. So Robert Key has apparently been watching for quite some time, and he and I got to chatting about stuff, and he has apparently sent like 50 coils to Steven at Haku, and he sent coils to all sorts of people, and he doesn't do it for a living. He just makes them for people on occasion, which is really kind of him. So I do have a couple variations. They are all kidney puncture Canthal, and I am looking forward to giving those a whack when I'm not having a bad vape week. It seemed like a bad idea to put them in and waste them. I've already fucked up 2 of Toonies. I could use a couple extra coils, so I'm kind of excited about having them.
Angsty's all about that MOSFET life. How the tables have turned, Darkness.
Right?
Darkness.
Dude, when I got that gloom and
I told you.
I wouldn't have ever thought that it would have happened. And it happened. Fucking Dan's a wizard, dude. That's all there's to it.
Get served, son.
Actually, you know what I should probably share? I should probably share something that happened to William. William, is this okay if I tell your story about your product problem? I'm gonna ask him the question. I'll wait till he comes back in chat, and then I'll share the story if he's okay with it. You guys can talk about something else.
He said, "Fuck yes."
Oh, okay, cool. Now I'm looking for his post.
Whap, whap,
Wah.
whap.
Boop, 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 boop.
He said, "Declare to the world, hack the planet."
Here it is. Here it is. Let's get this up.
Yes,
the short version.
All 14 people will hear this.
Sorry, what?
I said all 14 people will hear this.
That's right. There could be, one of those 14 could possibly have this mod. It's entirely possible. And this, I'm going to show a picture of the product first. So we talked about this a little while back. Let me share the screen. This is so Wapari made a reasonably priced squonker. It's $265, MOSFET sort of mod. And oh, that's right. And William had sent this to Sean. This is the one that doesn't have a cover on the bottom of the battery, the bottle, and Sean basically broke it. And it was just falling right back out. So when it got back, William had that sorted out and fixed it. He's been using it ever since. And he pinged me today to tell me that his had started auto firing on him. So he reached out to Teppo, who is the guy behind Wapari, and Teppo said that we did find a few of them out of the 1,000 chips we assembled that did fail. So please send it back to me, and he's going to check if it's fixable, or I'll ship a brand new mod to you. So I want to give him some props because Wapari is one of those brands like Geppetto that catches shit for having expensive stuff. So one, to their credit, they released a reasonably priced squonker that's reportedly works pretty well when you're not Sean. And two, it's cool to see that they were standing behind it, even though it is, it's only $250 or whatever. It's cool to see they're, standing behind it. Now, I'm not sure how much he's going to have to pay to ship it back, because I don't think he mentioned whether or not he's covering shipping. But still, if you've got a mod that wasn't cheap and it breaks and it costs you, $15-20 or whatever to send it back to get it either fixed or replaced, that's not bad. To me, that's not too bad. It's not like you had to keep up with a receipt and stuff. It's all cool. Will says the MOSFET they use now is referred to as the Wapari MOSFET, and other modders are using them.
Oh,
so
what else?
Yeah, I guess. Anyway, I wanted to give those guys a little shout out because I thought that was cool.
Whap.
Let's see. Okay, if we need to go, I've got one more thing to talk about.
Do it.
We need to talk about it, or do you need to go?
No, go ahead. Okay.
Sorry, I just saw that message just a minute ago.
Yeah, it's all good.
So I have been telling you about the Atmazoo vape shell for quite some time. And I wanted to talk about it because A, it was reasonably priced, and B, it was a Billabong idea that might work well that you can get. And right now there's kind of a dearth of those in the market. You can pretty much get the Insider or nothing, because the Exoset, which is my preferred and favorite atomizer, they haven't made any in quite some time, and I don't know that they're going to make any more at all. So I went ahead and bought it, even though I didn't really need it, because I wanted to show it to you guys, and I wanted to try it for myself to see if it was any good. I had a couple of reservations about it, but I went ahead and did it anyway because I wanted to see it. I was fully prepared to do this. I actually went and made this. I went and made this just for the show tonight. I even drew little frowny faces and a smiley face.
That's some Math Madden shit right there.
Hellfire.
Yeah, this is supposed to say Exoset, but it's gonna. The problem is it's gonna be really hard to show you much about it because it's a belt box Eddie and everything's kind of small, and also it's encased in a tank of juice. And I wanted to vape on it because otherwise I'd have to have it all apart and cleaned off and have the uppy closey thing. And so that's that. I decided instead of doing that, I'm going to show you something that I think is actually a pro in buying the vape shell, and that is the user manual. And you wouldn't think a user manual would be a pro, But this is a pretty cool user manual. It's one big image. And it's kind of wide, but it's written in clear English, and it's got a lot of really useful information, including like an exploded bit showing all the parts, how they fit together, and what order they go in, which is all really nice. So I want to give them a little bit of props, and also I'm going to use this as to kind of show you what's going on in it. So you do get the little airflow pins, and that's this little part here. It fits right into the deck, right underneath your coil. You get a 2, 2.5, 3, and a 3.5 millimeter little airflow pin, or you can take it out and it's 4 millimeter. So it actually put through quite a bit of air, I thought. I put the 3 millimeter in there first, and I found it to be actually quite restrictive. It didn't feel like 3 to me. It measures to 3. I'm not saying that they did that wrong. It measures to 3, but I think with a 3 millimeter coil on top of it, I think it just restricted it a little bit. So I've got the 3.5 in there now, and it works a lot better. So that's cool. One thing that I think needs to be addressed is what happened. So what happened on mine is I got it, and it didn't work. So I contacted them last week, and they asked me if I could measure all these different parts. And so I started measuring the part of the assembled Addy, you know, from like here to here and here to here and here to here. And this way I tried to figure out why it wasn't making, because there was a gap, about a 0.5 millimeter gap between the positive contact and down there in my billet box. So at the end of it, the person on the other end, by the way, was extremely nice, and was very grateful at the time that I spent taking pictures and measuring with my calipers, trying to figure out why this thing wasn't working. And had they not, I don't know if it was a he or she, but whoever it was on the other end of the Facebook thing said that they would have been happy to take it back and replace it if there was a problem with it. But instead of having to mail it back and forth, I could actually measure things and we could figure out what happened. The short version is what had happened is the positive tube insulator right here was not in my atomizer. They had totally forgotten this. So when the positive tube screwed up in here, this thing makes the positive tube down, pushes it down about 0.5 millimeter, which is exactly how much we were short. So that's, at the end of the day, we did figure out what the problem was. We figured that out on Friday afternoon, a week ago or whatever. And so since they apparently had a holiday on Monday as well, it didn't come out until Tuesday, but they did send it 3-day DHL. So it was to me in 3 days from Greece, which was really nice. So I feel like they did a good job for aftermarket support. It was kind of a bummer that it was such a pain in the butt to figure out. But like I said, they were nice. The English was perfectly fine and understandable. And now I've got the whole thing up, and it's working. The pros list is this is an easy build, and the other pro is actually tastes really good. I feel like this is the atomizer once it's in your billet box and working, it actually works really well. And the builds that I've had in there so far have not been a problem. They've not been a problem at all. They've worked really, really well. But
big curvy butt. As
you guys well know, if you've either A, been watching the show for a while, or B, had a billet box yourself, you know that one of the things about having a billet box is dealing with the atomizer is kind of a pain in the dick, right? I mean, it's just kind of a pain. It's a lot, not a lot. It's a bit more messy in general of just, than rebuilding a dripper or a tank. Got to get, the whole thing's coated in liquid, right? It's swimming in a tank, and you got to get it out and deal with your liquid all the time, with being everywhere. So it's just kind of a pain anyway. So that's just all of the atomizers like this. Unfortunately, this one is a little bit worse. And the reason is because of this shape, this rectangle shape here on the top and bottom. Let's scroll over here a little bit. You can see briefly here of how you install these things. So here's your two halves. You have to put the top chimney half in. Oh, here it is. There's a picture right here. You put the top chimney part in and then slide it up, right? So this kind of stays put, and then you have to drop your base in when you're done. And the problem is these two things are pressure fit. They don't really, they don't thread together. They don't do anything but kind of press together when you put it in there. It's kind of crappy because there's wiggle room on the bottom. There's wiggle room on the top. These two things do not want to come together naturally. You cannot get your fingers in there. So when you push them together, And there's inevitably a few drops of e-liquid on the bottom, right? If you're like re-wicking or you used it ever before. So when you pop this thing up to get the deck in and out, when you go to push it back together, it's basically going to do like a snowplow action and pull up a bunch of liquid into the top and the bottom when you're trying to monkey about and fuck around like a monkey fucking a football, dude, trying to get these things two things together and like snap together. And they do have a slight snap when you put them together, just not much. So it's just kind of a pain. It's not very easy to do. And then the other problem that I had with it is I love the fact that they included a base body. This is a great idea. It's not as good as the Exoset, which builds the 510 threads into the Addy itself, but at least they thought about it and they did put this together. What this is you thread this into your regular mod, like stop. You put this in, into your regular mod. You just kind of screw it in there, and then you can screw the base of the vape shell down into this, and you can do your pulsing and whatever, testing to make sure you're not shorting, and you can put the chimney on top, make sure you're not shorting out there. I like the fact that it's there and it's available and it's not too difficult to use. It's not as easy as the Exoset, but at least it's there and they've been paying attention to that problem. The problem is this thing kind of sucks and it doesn't thread very well because this little tiny positive post there in the middle, that threads up into the positive post of the vape shell itself. And sometimes it doesn't want to thread, and sometimes it threads and then goes little cattywampus on you. It's not the best thing out there. It works. You got to be a little patient with it. But I would be remiss if I didn't say anything about it. So those are the kind of things that I don't really like about it. But at the end of the day, it works really well, and it seems like it was really consistent. So that I've re-wicked it, I think 3 or 4 times now, and it's worked every time. I haven't had any dry hits. I haven't had any flooding. In fact, if I took this out right now, the back of the Boro tank would be clean. There's not been any because like some people even buy those little things that cover up the airflow thing because they say that they get so much leaking out of there. I've not had a problem with that at all, just like I don't with the Exoset, so that's good. But the build thing, it's just kind of annoying. So there's my thoughts on the vape shell. I like the company. They were very nice and kind, and they fixed stuff. And it wasn't because they knew me. I guarantee you they had no idea who I was. So it would be the same for everybody. That's the thing. Trying to mate those two things together in the tank. It's kind of a pain. And the 510 thing works if you jack with it a little bit. But at the end of the day, it works really well. But if you can find an Exoset, I would buy that like that. Now, that said, the price is good, right? €60, I think I ended up paying. But you do have to pay for €15 shipping. But that gets you 3-day DHLs to your door. I bought it, and it was to my door in like 2 days and 20 hours. Like from Greece, through customs, through all that shit, came right over. A DHL guy was at my house. So it's kind of that part is more than you pay sometimes, but you gotta bring that together with, I think I ended up paying like full stop $100 flat, basically, after conversion rates and all that sort of shit. So that's what I got to say about that Bazoo vape shell. If you can't find an Exoset and you either didn't want to or wanted to try something different from the Insider, this thing worked really well. The Insider was a great atomizer too once you had it built, and if you built it right, it was very flavorsome. In fact, I have said historically, I think that Get Pissed might have been better in the Insider than it is in the Exoset, but Exoset is just easier and more consistent to build for me, in my opinion. But it works really well. So now I'm glad to see another, not competitor, but yeah, competitor. I'm glad to see another option for us consumers here to be able to run a rebuildable in their build box. Masty had to bounce. He said you can just continue. So I'll say goodbye for Masty because he just had to bounce and I was doing uppy closey thingies.
Wait, with moment of silence for Masty leaving.
So X off that. Talked about the vape shell. gonna put that in there so I can search and find that later.
Tonight. I don't remember
What's that.
I feel like I had something else to mention. I don't remember now. Oh yes, my Narca. If you remember, it was not built last show. It was lazy as fuck.
I do remember.
I didn't build it until Friday. When did I build it Friday? Well, I had like 25 minutes to leave the house to go to work, and I needed to rebuild that thing. So if you need to build in 10 minutes, I don't suggest trying your trusty Parallel 27 build. So I'm like, fuck it. I haven't built with 25 in a bit, so I did. 7 wraps, to be exact. It's a decent build. It's it ain't no Parallel 27 though. Remember that bullshit Angsty was complaining about ages ago? His gripes with the DNA 75 because he vapes like 3.5 ohm coils. Well, this was 7 wraps around 3mm, 0.93 ohms. Fuck the battery curve on this build, yo.
Yeah, dude.
My battery kicks at 3.5, whereas on the Parallel 27 build at about 0.53-ish, 0.5, I get a good 3.3, and it's a vape down, all the way down.
To there. Right.
Even before I have to change batteries, it starts bucking when, you know, I take my long-ass fucking pulls. And I kept thinking, oh, every so often, like, my battery cap will come a little bit loose and fuck up the contact. I'm like, oh, maybe that's the problem. No, I kept firing it. It didn't say check battery. I was like, oh, no, this chip fucking sucks. So,
yeah.
DNA 75 is great. Just don't build anything over a 0.7 on it.
Yeah.
Recommendation.
Yeah, in fact, it could be argued a 0.5 is better than a 0.7 even.
I get better battery life.
Better battery life, and it'll actually hit 75 watts if it's at 0.5 or less.
I'm vaping this at the 33.3. I mean, the Parallel 27 build, I think I do at 30.31, but still. Fuck.
Yeah. Kid Harwood just asked me if I have an opinion on zero tolerance knives. I think the zero tolerance are basically the other, like the slightly more affordable version of the Hinderer, right? If that's the ZT you're talking about. If that's the case, I haven't owned one personally, the zero tolerance. But I do know that they are supposed to be pretty good, and they're less expensive than the Hinderer is. That was my first real knife that I ever bought. That, you know, not real knife, but nice knife that wasn't a Spyderco or something like that. I stopped using that pretty quick as soon as I got a gram. But the reason is because for me, the blade profile, okay, well, this is going to sound kind of goofy, but the grind profile on the Hinderers, and I don't know if this is the same with the zero tolerance or not, but the Hinderers are, they're fat. It's like an axe grind on it. So while they're real durable, the edge is real durable, it doesn't get super sharp, which is annoying to me. I like a thinner profile blade and a thinner grind. Personally, that's just me. Or Church says zero tolerance is good. Good. I've like I said, I've heard that they're reasonably priced and they work well for that. I just haven't owned them myself personally. Duro said the DNA 75 is 82% efficient. I think that's probably generous.
Well,
I hated that board, and I love Evolve, but that board is garbage.
The thing is, it's their cheapest, their lowest end board out of the bunch. It's their mass market board, but if you do the 0.5 build on there, it's fine. But yeah, if you like to build high ohms, then it's not the board for you. Get a 75C. Or speaking of the 75C, actually, there's a firmware update coming out for it.
Oh, is that right?
Yes, it brings it up to 100 watts.
Really?
I don't know when that's coming out, but if you are a regular Evolve user, you have a 75C. Boom.
Well, there you go. Boom. Clean AF Coils just asked if you can order a stab wood freehand anytime you want. Yes, you can. You can get a Gloom, a Walnut, or a stab wood freehand whenever they're running a list. So I guess not whenever you want, but anytime they open up a list, all you got to do is shoot Maya an email or a message rather on Facebook, and just tell her what you want, and she'll do that. Usually, I think the last 2 or 3 lists that they've done are all Gloomtums, but you can get any of those other 3 ones whenever they're running a list. The only thing you can't get is a bliss because they only made that 1 run or 2 runs.
Duro says Evolve isn't doing any firmware updates for the United States. Not sure what the workaround is on that. Are they only releasing it in the Philippines? What the fuck is that supposed to mean?
Well, I mean, he's not wrong as far as the giant letter of the law, right? Is you're not supposed to do that here. But I think Evolve is
if it's hosted on a server overseas.
Who can click on it? Just don't do it if you're in the United States. Yep. That was a good hand fart. A little squeaker.
Yeah, I usually do them when I'm stretching my shoulders, just if I'm sitting in my chair, just because I'm a child. So if I can, A, hand fart the Sanford and Son theme, I'd be happy. Or B, womp womp. That's probably the harder one.
Masty logs out and the show goes to shit. Hey guys, what'd you do to close out the show? Well, Phil regaled us with his hand.
I can't. If anyone saw that video from, like, I don't know, 2008 or 2007 of the kid who hand farts the final countdown, I'm not that good. That kid's probably got all the bed sores.
Oh dear. I'm going to shut the show down now. on that bombshell, we're going to bounce out of here. Thank you very much for joining us this week on the Plumes of Hazard. Join us next week, same Plumes time, same Plumes channel, and hopefully Mass will be back and a little bit less stressed. Thank you guys for joining us, and we'll see you.
Thank you for watching. Reese's.